Move on to another red line I just thought about because it came up in my life recently. Here's another scenario. Let's imagine you've got a kid over for dinner. Dinner gets served and they want a second helping. Then they want a third helping. You're looking at this kid and they're clearly a little bit, not a little bit, maybe a lot overweight. Does it cross the line to tell that parent they need to be a little more healthful in how they raise their child?
You're telling the
parent,
not
not the child. Not the child.
Tell
Never
the kid
the child.
too, just go slow down, boy.
Exactly.
That's too many nuggets.
I agree with you, because in my house, I believe that they need to learn to be a guest. And I always say, in our house, you know, we don't watch TV until we do homework. Or in our house, we don't have second helping. So they sort of learn to, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But what'd you tell the parent?
Doing what I've done, I've learned that you don't solicit. You don't go up to people and say, hey, let me tell you. They have to come to you or they're not going to be receptive anyway. If they come to you and say, you know, what do you think? My child is struggling with this. What should I do? Then they're receptive and then the advice is welcome. But I think the parent's going to tell you where to stick it.
Especially, it depends how well you know the parent and if both kids are eating a little too much. Exactly. Then I think it makes sense that the parents get together and go, you know what, they spend a lot of time together, and I think their eating habits could be a lot better. Why don't we show a better example?
Put an entry in your diary about how much you want to tell your friend, leave the diary on the table, and then they read it indirectly, and your message gets across.
When you see this kid eating you out of house and home, you got to hide it and just say, no more.
Lisa, what about the flip side? You have a kid over your house who's clearly exhibiting anorexic behaviors. She's taken the bun off her hamburger and just eating the hamburger. She's moving food around, and you've noticed a weight loss. Do you bring that up to a parent?
I think absolutely, because then, again, her health could be at risk for obesity as well, but I think there's a little bit different line with that.
Yeah.
So what about your own kids? If you notice your own kids are eating too much, putting on some weight, is it okay to tell your own child or suggest to your own child, you know what, you need to go on a diet? Because
that is a whole
diet is different from saying eat your
conversation.
That really is.
And the way that you go at a kid with that, it could really backfire because they interpret it as, you're broken, I'm embarrassed by you,
Yes, you're
we
not
need to
good
fix
enough.
you. You don't do that. You simply change the food in the house, you lead by example, you get them in activities because they will rebel. It is one of the worst things you could do.
You don't want to diet a kid.
Yeah,
Don't diet a kid.
I think
don't diet a kid.
I think that's what we're in agreement on, that will ruin your relationship with your child.
And a lot of times you can use the doctor as a go-between, because we can always say, tell them what's healthy for them and advise that they get involved in more, especially if it's precocious puberty, with around puberty and they gain too much weight.